Hello and welcome to Mom Your Way, the podcast for moms who are ready to stop second-guessing themselves and start showing up with calm, confidence, and self-trust. I'm Lauren LaSalle, mentor, mom, and fellow human in the middle of messy motherhood. Around here, we don't do perfection, we do presence. Each week, you'll hear honest conversations, gentle encouragement, and grounded support to help you tune into your own wisdom, care for yourself without guilt, and mother in a way that actually works for you. Because your way is the right way. So let's take a deep breath and begin. Hello, mamas. I hope you are not as tired as I am, although there's a good chance that you are. My daughter has been waking up in the middle of the night for a couple hours or just waking up really early and not being able to go back to sleep. So that has really started to take a toll on how I'm feeling. But here I am. I know that out of anybody, you will understand how I'm feeling right now. And so I have the time to record an episode or two, so I figured might as well use it, even though I'm tired. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be okay. So just sending out wishful thinking, positive hopes that you are not feeling as tired as I am right now. And I also have to say, if you hear cheeping in the background, chirping, it's because we just got some chicks about a week ago and they have to live in my office for a couple weeks until they get big enough to go outside. So you might hear some cheeps in the background. I wish I could show them to you. They're so cute. They're still so tiny. But anyway, you might hear that in the background. It's not just you. It's actually there. So anyway, let's get into today's episode. So I have some self-care tips for moms of littles. And I guess it can be for moms with kids of all ages, really, but some of these are more specifically when you have littles. So I guess you will probably figure out which ones work for you and which ones maybe don't if you have older kids. But anyway, let's get right into it. So my first tip is to figure out what aspects of self-care are non-negotiables for you, and then be creative about how to incorporate those into your day. So, for example, for me, my non-negotiable is taking a shower every morning, because if I don't take a shower in the morning, I just feel gross all day. And so not taking a shower is just not something I can do. It's not something I'm willing to do. So that is, I think, probably my biggest non-negotiable for me. And I do want to clarify, because I did post a video about this tip on social media, and I had somebody say, oh, well, this doesn't work for so-and-so, and because of this, and some moms just can't even take a shower. I know this tip is not about you needing to figure out how to take a shower. This tip is about figuring out for you specifically what things you need to do to take care of yourself and be the person and the mom that you need to be, and then figure out how to work that into your schedule. I'm not telling you need to take a shower every day. Absolutely not. I'm just giving you an example of what my non-negotiable is. And here I'll tell you a little bit about how I sort of fit this into my schedule. And it changed as my daughter has grown. So what I did with her when she was a baby is I would just put her on her floor in her room. I'd put on some music. I'd give her one of those like foldable black and white board books so she could look at that. And she was totally fine. And then when she got a little bit older, I'd still put on music. I'd open up like a board book, a picture book, so that she could look at the pictures while she was on the floor. And since she was just on the ground, she wasn't going to get hurt, and especially when she couldn't roll over or move. And she didn't actually crawl until she was, I think, 10, like a solid 10 months old. So that was helpful too. And so then I was just able to take a shower every morning. We were both happy. And so then as she got older, I had to get a little more creative and figure out what to do. So when she could actually move around, I would put her in the pack and play with some toys. And then eventually we got to the point where she would just scream and cry when I was about to get in the shower because she wanted me to be with her. So I ended up having to put like an age appropriate show for her on my tablet for her to watch for 10-15 minutes while I was taking a shower. I was not particularly thrilled about having to do this because we were really trying to avoid screen time for as long as possible. But I figured it's better for her to be watching a show for a few minutes and be happy than to be screaming and crying and wanting me while I was in the shower, because taking a shower is something that was going to happen no matter what. So that's what we had to do. And in order to be a good mom to her, I need to not feel like I'm physically feeling gross all day. So taking a shower is caring for myself and helping me care for her at the same time. So sometimes you just have to figure out what works, even if you're not thrilled about it. As long as everybody's safe, as long as everybody is going to be happy, then it's okay. And so now she's almost 3 and she wants to take a shower with me. She just came up with that on her own. One morning she said, "Mommy, I want to shower with you." And I was like, all right, cool. So she showers with me in the morning, and it's really cute. And it's a really good connection time for the two of us, I think, too. But anyway, so my point is figure out what you need to do for yourself. And maybe this is something that you needed to do for yourself before becoming a mom, and it's sort of fallen off of your schedule, but it's something that you really feel like you need back in your schedule. So maybe it's taking a walk. Maybe it's even just having literally a couple minutes to take a few deep breaths or to stretch or do yoga. Or, there are so many things that we all could need to feel our best and be our best and be the best version of ourselves for ourselves and our kids. So it really differs from person to person. So my second tip plays off of my first tip, and my second tip is to start early and build it into your schedule and make it a habit. So I did this with the shower thing and with putting on my makeup in the morning, because I put on makeup most days. It makes me feel like I'm ready for the day. It makes me feel like I look more awake. So that just impacts my mood in a positive way overall. So what my daughter and I have been doing for a long time is, usually it's after breakfast, I'll go and put on my makeup and I tell her I have to finish getting ready, and she either plays with Play-Doh, or usually she goes to her room to read quietly, or she finds something else to play with, something along those lines. And it hasn't always been easy for her to do that. And before she became a little more independent, it definitely wasn't easy for her to do. But over time, she knows that that's the routine. And so when she was smaller, I'd have to sort of maybe go in once in a while in the middle of putting on my makeup and like read her a book or just reassure her I'm still here. I had her in eyesight so we could see each other. But now she knows that that's the routine. So lately, after breakfast, I say I have to finish getting ready, and she usually just goes in her room, reads books quietly by herself, sometimes for 15 minutes, which is really awesome. Or she'll find another toy, and sometimes she will bring a toy over to me, and we'll have a little conversation or whatever. But it is really nice that she just knows what to expect. It's so helpful for me. So again, I'm not saying you need to put on makeup every day. I really don't care if you wear makeup or not. That's just something that works for me. That's just an example of incorporating that into my routine so that my daughter is aware of the routine and what happens, and she's used to it. And so that really allows me to have that time that I need for myself. Tip number 3 is to notice and observe your feelings. And I feel like this is especially important for moms who tend to absorb other people's feelings. And so when you have a tiny little human that is having a really hard time, it can also cause us to feel that the same way and have a hard time too. So notice if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling frustrated, maybe you're feeling resentful. Be aware of how you're feeling and notice what is causing those feelings to occur. And when you feel like you need to, I know this, I always say this sounds so cliche, but deep breathing using your diaphragm really, really helps to relax your mind and your body. So when you breathe in, you want your stomach to expand and go out. And when you breathe out, you want to push all that air out of your stomach and breathe slowly, like for a couple seconds in, hold it for a few seconds, and then long, slow breath out. And do that a few times. And when you are noticing that you're having difficult feelings come up, especially if it's just you and your child, sometimes it can be hard to step away for a minute. But if you need to, it's better to step away, take a few deep breaths, settle yourself a little bit. As long as your child is in a safe place and is going to be safe, it's better to step away and settle a little bit than to be a parent that you don't want to be in that moment. So if you are able to catch these difficult feelings coming up, do some breathing to calm yourself down in the moment. And it does take work and practice over time, but it is totally possible. And something that is really helpful is to practice deep breathing when you don't even feel like you need it. So if you're feeling calm, if you're feeling happy, if you're feeling fine, just take a couple minutes to practice it. And this is something you can incorporate into your schedule as well. Your child can do this with you too. It will help them learn to take some deep breaths when they are having difficult feelings to help them settle their minds and their bodies. And settling yourself can also help with co-regulation, which I already had an episode come out about recently. So listen to that one if you haven't yet. But anyway, it's so important to notice and observe your feelings and be aware of what is triggering those feelings and find ways to be a little bit calmer for your child, because if our child is yelling and we are yelling, then everybody is yelling, right? Like we just feed off of each other if that happens. If your child is yelling or crying and you are able to be the calmer person, that can really help your child calm down faster as well. Tip number 4 is stop shoulding yourself and stop saying I need to, I should, I have to, etc. It's important to notice what words you're using when you speak to yourself, whether you are saying something out loud or you're saying it in your head, you're thinking it. Notice what words you're using and the type of pressure that you're putting on yourself, because we tend to put a lot of pressure on ourselves. Moms have a lot of things, parents in general too, but just moms seem to have a lot of things that we feel like we really need to get done, or that we do need to get done, we need to keep track of. So we can put really unnecessary pressure on ourselves, and that can cause us to feel stressed and overwhelmed. So something that can be helpful is to make a list of what you would like to do that day or that week, and then prioritize those items. So at the top of the list, put things that you really want or need to get done. And then the bottom of the list should be things that if you don't get it done, that's okay. And if you aren't able to do certain things, give yourself a break. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Sometimes it feels like it is, but it's really not. So sometimes I find myself saying to myself something like, I need to do 2 loads of laundry today. And that never happens, truly never happens that I do 2 loads of laundry in one day. Sometimes I don't even get one done that I need to. And now I'm at the point where I just can say, all right, that's okay. It's not a life or death situation. It's fine. I can let it go. I can give myself a break. I can do it tomorrow. We're not going to run out of sheets. We're not going to run out of towels. We're not going to run out of clothes. We're going to be okay if I don't get to it today. And something else that I think is important, when you are making the list of things that you want to do, you can include self-care activities in that list, things that make you feel good, and be sure to prioritize some of those. Don't leave them for last. It's so easy to leave our things that we want to do for ourselves for last. Let's stop doing that. Let's start actually taking care of ourselves as well. We are important too. We need to be there for ourselves just like we're there for everybody else. So make sure you mix those self-care things in your list a little bit so you are taking care of yourself while you're also getting other things done that you want to get done. And something else that you can do, because I know that I tend to get focused on, oh my gosh, the dishes need to be done and this thing needs to be done, but I'm just so exhausted and I need a break. So instead of pushing myself to get those things done and then making myself feel worse, I sometimes think about what would help me feel better. Like, would doing the dishes help me feel better or reading a book? So maybe I feel like I should be doing the dishes, but reading a book would actually help me decompress. So I'm going to do that instead. Sometimes I feel like I really just want to get these dishes done. I just want them done. I need to get them done so they're done. I don't have to look at them anymore. So then I'll do them. So make sure you focus on one thing at a time rather than trying to multitask, because that can leave things partially done and then cause you to feel even more overwhelmed or more frustrated. So do something, check it off the list, and be done with it instead of having a bunch of half-done items on your list. Tip number 5 is to use your support system if you have one. And if you don't, try to figure out who you can have in your support system, because it's so helpful to have one. So maybe it's your partner, your parents, a close friend, other relatives. If you feel like you need help or if things get really overwhelming, it is so okay to ask for help. I feel like in our society, it's so focused on just moms, but I'm sure you've heard the saying, it takes a village to raise a child, and you really do need other people, not only to take care of your children, but so you can take care of yourself and not just be giving all the time and not refilling your cup. So let your support system know how they can help you out, whether it's spending time with your baby or child so you can get chores done or take care of yourself, or maybe it's doing the chores themselves and saying like, hey, can you vacuum my house today? I really just need a break from doing this. And usually I'm in charge of the vacuuming, but once in a while I'll say to my husband, like, please, can you just do it this week? I can't do it anymore. I really need a break from doing this. It just feels like I'm doing it every day at this point when it's once a week. So it's really important to communicate what you need with people that can be there to support you. If you need space or time to yourself, let them know. If you want somebody to hang around to talk, let them know. Especially if people are visiting the baby, it's really important to put a time frame on there and let people know what you expect from the visit. It is definitely okay to set those boundaries around people coming to your house. Tip number 6 is create a space in your home that's just for you. And I know sometimes this can be difficult, especially if you have a smaller living space. But if you're able to do it, it can be really helpful to have a place where you can go on your own, have no kids there, just to decompress and have some time to yourself. And when you're setting up your space, make sure to include some sensory pleasing items or lights or a scent that can help you relax and decompress, even if it's just for a few minutes every day. And try to remember what small things brought you joy or relaxation before you became a mom, and see if you can incorporate some of those things into your life, your space, or your routine. And if finding time to yourself is difficult, because trust me, I get it, it can be really hard sometimes with everybody's schedules, communicate with your partner or whoever else can support you and come up with a pre-planned time. So in advance, a time that works for both of you, for you to have downtime in them to watch your kids. So it's not a surprise. It's not saying last minute, hey, I need an hour to myself. It's a pre-planned time that works for everybody. And that can really be so helpful. So those are my tips. So to summarize, number 1, figure out what you need to take care of yourself, make it a non-negotiable, and then figure out creative ways to fit it into your schedule. Number 2 is create routines around your self-care so your child knows what to expect. Number 3, notice and observe your feelings and do grounding exercises or deep breathing and step away from the situation for a minute if you need to. Number 4, take unnecessary pressure off of yourself and be aware of how you're speaking to yourself. Number 5, rely on your support system when needed and communicate to other people what you need. Number 6, create a space in your home that's just for you and schedule your downtime ahead of time if possible. So if you feel like you need help with any of these tips that I gave you or anything else when it comes to being a mom of a little or multiple littles, in November when I return from maternity leave, I will be starting my one-to-one program for moms. And I will put the link in the episode description so you can get more information and join the waitlist if you would like. What we are going to do is work together for 6 months, every other week, just the two of us, on whatever you need when it comes to supporting yourself, supporting your kids, being a calmer, more present mom, being the mom that you want to be, working on taking those pressures off of yourself, taking away perfectionism, working on those thoughts that tend to come up around needing everything to be the right way, talking about who you are as a mom and as a person, just as you. Who are you? What things do you need for yourself just as a person to take care of yourself? And how can you incorporate those things into your life? Who is in your support system? How can you better utilize your support system? There are so many topics that we can talk about. So if you'd like more information about my one-to-one program and you'd like to join the waitlist, I put the link down below. So when you join the waitlist, I will get back to you around November-ish time, and we'll have a little conversation about what you're hoping to get out of it and make sure that it's the right fit program for you. And by joining the waitlist, there's no commitment. This is just saying I'm interested. I want first dibs on this program because I will only be taking a couple clients at a time. And it is for 6 months, so the wait could be quite a ways away if you are not on the waitlist, but then decide that you want to join the program. So join the waitlist if you would like more info. I hope all of these tips that I shared with you today are helpful, or at least one of them, even if one is helpful. I would love to connect with you on Instagram. I am Lauren LaSalle, and I would love to hear which of these tips work for you. If you know of a mom of littles who could benefit from these tips, please share this episode with them, share the podcast with them. My goal really as a mom myself is to help support other moms because I feel like we truly do not get enough support. Please remember that you are doing amazing, and just the fact that you're listening to this podcast and getting these tips and trying to work on yourself as a mom and as a person is amazing. So I am proud of you, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to the Mom Your Way podcast. You can help support the podcast by taking a minute to rate and review it or share a favorite episode with a fellow mama. Visit laurenlasalle.com for free resources, information about my programs, and to join my email list. You can connect with me on Instagram at @IamLaurenLasalle or email me at lauren@laurenlasalle.com. See you next week.